Alright, hello and welcome to part 2 of this end-to-end machine learning series where we'll be building a gender prediction app end-to-end. In part 1 we built the model, and in part 2, which is this video, we will be exposing the model as an API, and then in the next part we will be building client-side apps using Flutter. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is in that same project folder as last time, I'm going to make a new folder called API. And the reason for this is so deploying this to Heroku, which is what we're going to use, is way easier. So not a file, a folder, API like this. And then I'm just going to X out of that. And in API folder, I'm going to make a new file called main.py. And I'm going to open that file, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to import the modules. And for this, we will be using FastAPI. And the reason why I decided to use FastAPI is it is very easy to use, and I like it very much. And the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to do from the future import print function, and then we're going to do from pill import image, and we're going to use that for reading our multipart from import TensorFlow as TF. We'll need that for loading the model. Import NumPy as NP. From IO import bytes IO, and then import UV corn, and then from FastAPI import FastAPI file upload file. And let me just run down these imports. UVcorn is the server we're going to use. Bytes.io is for reading the multipart. FastAPI is for making the API. And the next thing we're going to do is initialize our app. So app is equal to FastAPI, like that. And then we're going to have model is equal to none for now. And then we're going to define a function. First of all, we're going to call it def read. So I'm just going to call it read image, like this. And it's going to take in file, which is what we are going to be getting as the multipart, and just like this, arrow function image dot image, because we're going to be taking in a pill image there, and just correct it like that. We're making a pill image, and then we're going to have image is going to be equal to image dot open, and we're going to do bytes.io, and then we're going to open file, and then we're going to do image dot save file il.png, and we're just going to save it. And you may be wondering, why am I saving the image? And the reason for this is because I couldn't find a way to get TensorFlow to accept the in bytes in memory image. But if anyone knows how to do that, please let me know down in the comments, or maybe open a pull request on the GitHub repo, because that is something that I would really like to do. I don't want to have to save the image, but that's the only way I could seem to get it to work. But anyhow, now that we have that done, we're going to, in this function, we're going to return image. And now we're going to define the main function here, which is def predict, like this. And predict will again take in image, and then image dot image. And it's taking an image from the above. And now that we have this, I'm going to specify the path, just like this, which is file.png, like that. And then we're going to do class underscore names is equal to female male. And okay, like that. And then we're going to do the same thing, image height is going to be equal to 398. Very important, these are the same as last time. And then I'm just going to duplicate that and make that 309. Alright, and then width like that. and then I'm just going to copy this from the use model. So image is equal to use like this inside the function though, and we're not going to be hard coding this, and we're going to specify this as path and just add a tf there, and then on the next line in the function, just going to come over here, and a lot of this is just the same, so I'm just going to copy all of this here, and just like that, just indent this as it should be, and leave it like that, and add a tf there, and this looks pretty good here. And again, this is the same as last time, loading the image here, make it an array, expand it, load the model up, load the model up, and then once the model has been loaded, just run the predictions on it, and very simple like that. And then just return this and print. And before I forget, we do need a return, and we're just going to return class names like this, np.argmax score, and we're also going, and that's the score, and we're also that's the prediction class, sorry, and then we're going to return also the probability. So np.max of score, like that, and we're actually just going to embed that in a list. So that is our function that we're going to call on the endpoint. So now we have to define the endpoint. So at app.post, and the endpoint is going to be predict, just like that. I need to put the first slash like that, and then just going to define an async function. So async def predict API, and this is going to take in file again, upload file, which is the data structure, file like this, async def predict. All right, and then we're going to print the type. Actually, no, we don't have to do that. That was for my testing. Image is equal to read image, and await file.read like this, and then we're going to do prediction is equal to predict on image, just like that. So we're gonna prediction, and then here we're just gonna return prediction, and this looks pretty good. I'm just gonna check it real quick here. Image read, and oh yes, I forgot one thing here. And we're gonna do if model not equal to none. We only want to load it if it's not equal to none. Otherwise, it'll be a disaster, which is right here. If model not equal to none. Or if model here, let's see. Why is it highlighting? Let's see here. Model equal none, and then actually we don't need that because TensorFlow won't load it twice. We won't need that. And then down here at the bottom, we're gonna do just if, just a standard thing, is equal space equal space like this. So main function loop, and we're gonna do uv corn.run app, and that's all we're gonna we're gonna specify debug equal true. And once we have this done, this looks like our final app. Oh, this looks like our final file here. So just to make sure that this is running as intended, I'm just going to pull up a new terminal, minimize that down, And we're gonna run uv_corn main colon error loading ASG. Here, let's see here. Let me just see here. What is the syntax here? Search up here. How to because I can't remember the syntax. No, I did it right. Okay. uv_corn main. Ah! Ha. Gotta CD into API. There we go. And then uv_corn main colon app like this. And it will load in TensorFlow and it will shut down here. It will only use it as socket. What is this error? Error while attempting to bind on address. Only one socket address. Okay, so it looks like I have something going on port 8000. So I'm going to specify the port equal to 8000 like this. Oh, not like port is equal to not 8000. Let's do like maybe 3600 because I doubt anything is running on that. And then it has okay, let's do it like this. -- port 3600. Gotta specify it when I'm running it, and it's running at 3600. So now if I go here in Brave rather, it will say detail not found, and that is actually normal because we do not have any route set for our home page. We go to predict. So if I just test the predict endpoint here, predict like this, and we get method not allowed, which is again correct because if I come back over here, this is a post method as we defined app.post and async and all of that. So now we need to test that the API is working. So I'm going to make an inside API. I'm just going to make a new file test api.py, and here I'm just going to import requests just like that. And then I'm going to make a thing img is equal to, and I'm just going to use the .. image dot what is it jfif like that, and then I'm going to do image send because we need to open it. Image send is equal to open img comma space rb. We need to do dot read bytes dot read like this. Now we have that. We're going to make a payload since it is a post request, and we're going to have file colon space image send like that, and not in the bracket like here. This payload, we're going to have it like that, and then we're going to have r is equal to requests dot post url, which we're going to define file is equal to payload, and then just dot json that, and then we're gonna print r. And I haven't defined URL, so I'm just gonna URL is equal to this over here, or like this. And let's run this. So when I run this over here, I get traceback no reason called /image.gif. Okay, so let me just bring that in and just do one image.jfif. Here we go. And I got unexpected keyword argument file here. Let's see. What did I? Image to send file. Oh, files. That's why. Run it. And I get JSON decode error, which strange. I don't know why. Let me see. This is working properly. And let me see. Huh. Why are we getting this error? Okay, I found the error here. I wrapped the path in strings. I'll wrap the variable path in strings. Let's end this and let's bring it back and let's run this time. Use our test API and still some kind of error. Let's see what the error is. Saved model does not exist at gender.h5. Huh. Did I make a typo? Gender, no. Oh, forgot to copy the model file there. Alright, so now, once we end that and run it again, it should work. Let me run, not main.py, we need to run test API. And finally, no error. We get what the image is classified and the percentage. So that was very interesting. But now, let's go on about deploying this to Heroku. So to do this, I'm just going to make a new terminal window here. And what's good about Heroku is that they have a free tier, and that free tier does not require a credit card. So that's why I'm using them for this video. But the first thing is you have to download the Heroku CLI. So to do that, you just come here, go to Heroku.com, and then I'm already signed in, but you can just go Heroku, and then you can just go here, and then you can go support, or not support rather, you can go documentation, and then you can just hit get started, or the Heroku CLI there, and then you can download the Heroku CLI here however you would. But once you have that, you just have to type Heroku login, and then it will redirect you to the website, and you will log in. I've already done that. So now, let's go ahead and make an app here. So I'm going to come over to the Heroku dashboard. I am going to, back here, one more, come to the dashboard, and I'm going to make a new app, create new app here, and I'm going to call this Gender API. Hopefully that works. Okay, Gender API not available, so I'm going to try that. Gender API fast. Okay, let's try a name here. FastAPI. Okay, must start with a lowercase letter. Okay, so I'm just going to come up with some random thing here because a lot of names are taken. So let's try this one here. Let's try Sleepy Cows 114. 1144. 114. Seriously, it's taken. How about 11? Name should only contain lowercase letters. Oh, okay, so it's not taken. It's fine. 1144. And alright, good. This is available. So finally a name that's available. I'm going to create the app. And then we have this Git repository actually here. So the URL. So again, here are the instructions. Git init, Git or Heroku Git remote here. So I'm just going to copy this command. And I'm going to come over to VS Code here. Type Git init. And initialize empty repository. Put that there. I set Git remote Heroku there. And then this is just the deploy instructions. But first we got to create a few files here. So create a new file and we're going to call it proc file. And then after we create the proc file, we're going to create a new file called require. First, let's create runtime.txt, and then again a new file here called requirements.txt, and I spelled it wrong, too long. Require. Okay, there we go. Requirements.txt. And here are the files. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come on in, and I'm just going to type the version of Python that we need. I'm just doing Python-3.7.9, because that's what I've been using this whole tutorial. And you need at least 3.7 because FastAPI doesn't work below that. And once we have the runtime.txt, we're going to X out of that. And in requirements.txt, this is just any old requirements.txt. So first we're going to do pillow is equal to 7.2.0, no space here. Come over here and do TensorFlow underscore or dash CPU equal to 2.3, very important. .0 just to be safe. NumPy equal to 1.18.4. .3 or .5 because that's what I'm using here, and UV_corn is equal to 0.112.3, and then FastAPI equal to 0.61.2, and then just Python-multipart, or we need to close it, Python-multipart. And now that requirements.txt is done over here in proc file, this is where we're going to specify actually our app, so what to run. So we have a web job, so that's why we're going to do web, and then the command. So very similar to the command that we used to start locally, UV_corn, and then we're going to do main:app, like that, and then we're going to do --host is equal to 0.0.0.0, and then we're going to do --port, or not equal, --port is equal to $, the value of port, :5000. So this is how it should look: web : UV_corn main app --host and --port, like this. And once we have all that done, again, if you come over here, we need to deploy it, so we're just going to follow their instructions here. So we're going to up that here, git add everything, and this will take quite a few seconds because we have to add the big file here, and we don't need image.py, so I'm actually just going to delete that, and file.png. I'm just going to leave that there so it doesn't create a file not found error, but yeah. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to git commit, as they say right here, git commit it -m. I'm just going to do first commit, like that, and it's going to do that. And then, as you can see here, the next step is to push to Heroku master. And the way that Heroku works is that on push, it deals your proc file and all of this. So I'm just going to maximize this and do git push Heroku master. And it's going to write the objects, and again, this will take some time since it has to write gender.h5, which in and of itself is a very, very large file. And eventually, when it's done writing, which will be soon, so when it's done writing, it will start building it and installing the Python file from your runtime, and then Python version from the runtime rather, and then installing the pip packages via requirements.txt. And then when all of that is done, it's going to initiate the command in proc file. So I'll be back when it's done pushing because it's going to take quite some time. And the pushing is complete, so it's building source right now. Well, it was compressing, now it's building source. And this is all the outputs, and see, it's installing Python 3.7.9 from the runtime file, installing pip first, and then it's installing SQLite because Python needs SQLite to work. And then, now it's installing all of our requirements with pip, and it looks like we have an error. Okay, so I forgot to put double equal in requirements.txt for TensorFlow CPU. So, just going to repeat all of this, git add star, git commit, -m fix dependencies, like that. And then I'm just going to git push Heroku master, like this. And this time it'll take less time, I think, because it already has that file there. And the compressing has completed, so it's going to go through that whole remote cycle again. So it's going to install Python, install pip, install SQLite, then install the requirements, and hopefully this time we shouldn't get an error because I fixed that error. So now it's building source, and one of the nice things about Heroku is that it automatically does all this Python app detection for you. That's one of the really nice things about it that I like. Aside from the fact that you can get a free tier without credit card. And now it's installing the requirements with pip, and it's downloading all of them that we need. And you can tell here that it's downloading many Linux, which means that our server is a Linux server. And it's downloading all of them. And when it's done downloading them, it's going to install them. This will take quite some time, so I'm going to pause it and bring it back when the installation is complete of all the packages. And it says successfully installed all of these packages. And most of these packages are coming from TensorFlow because TensorFlow itself requires a lot of them. But when all these packages are done installing, anytime now, it should be executing our procfile command, which is creating a web job and then running that unicorn command to start the server. And it's compressing it right now again. So more compressing, more compressing. This compressing is going to take quite some time. So, okay, here we go, just finished. It's done. And now, it should be going on to running our procfile. It's launching, yep. And it just says, warning, your slug size is large, soft limit may affect boot time. That's fine. Now it says released v3. Deployed this to Heroku. So now, I'm just going to copy this, but I'm actually not going to go there yet. I'm going to wait for it to finish running. And when it's finished running, like the command prompt is back to normal, then I'm going to go to that website, and let's see if everything worked. It's going to take quite some time here. So again, I'll be back when the command prompt is reset. And it has completely finished. The Heroku has reset, well, Heroku's finished deploying it, and it's back here. Now, before I go to that URL, I'm going to check one thing, and that is to make sure that there are no errors. So to do that, I'm going to type Heroku logs --tail, and it's going to tail it, and it says build succeeded, and we are starting up. So now I'm going to terminate that, and I'm going to copy this URL. And if I go on over to here, I will say not found, which is again correct. And then if I go to predict the slug, method not allowed, which is again correct. And now let's actually test that same API testing script on our hosted URL here. So let me just minimize that test API, and the URL instead of localhost now is going to be an actual domain. Run this, and it worked. Same result as local, roughly the same. And that's it. We just deployed a FastAPI API to Heroku that anyone can access. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss part 3 of this playlist/series where we'll be making client apps, web apps, mobile apps, and desktop app using Flutter. But that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video.